everybody, we're here, the ladies of Rewatching Wine, and I am Rhea.
Trina.
Champagne.
And Lynn.
And we are here to give you our book to movie adaptation of Monster.
Monster. By Walter Dean Myers. And the movie of the same title, thank goodness.
It originally wasn't, and they changed it to All Rise, and then once Netflix purchased it, sorry, big lips, I said a little bit, they changed it to Monster.
Right. I'm glad they did, though. I like it when the title's the same. It's easier for us to follow.
And we have hope that it will be the same story.
Right.
Yeah, definitely had like a bigger impact of it like being Monster, because like he named the book Monster for a reason. And having it as All Rise was kind of like, I get it, but more impactful.
Right.
I on my notes, but I don't know what my notes are.
Yeah, I feel like if they hadn't changed the name back, that would have been a significant discussion of our the podcast, because All Rise to me didn't really line up with the story.
Yeah.
Before we jump into that, what are we drinking?
Sorry, I don't know where they are. We are drinking today In Case of Good Times by Robin Blair. It's Cooper's Hawk original, which we all love Cooper's Hawk. Yes. It's a spritzy rosé, so perfect time for the summer. Rosé all day. So yeah, rosé wine, drink it. It's delicious. I like the little like carbonation that it has because it kind of gives you like that refreshed.
Very nice.
Yeah, that of course I add fruit to everything. I put that on everything, so it's strawberry.
Did.
Gosh. Why don't you just put watermelon up in everything?
I don't eat no watermelon myself.
Oh, I did. I cannot.
That went dark.
All right, so let's jump into the book. First of all, I'm just going to tell you guys that I love the book because it was so short. But it started off a little hard for me because I wasn't prepared for it to start off with sort of this scene 1, scene 2, like he was creating his own movie. I thought once I got through it, I was like, that was really cute. Mm-hmm. But at the beginning, I was like, well, what the heck is going on? What is this scene 1? I was so confused, but I thought it was kind of a cute setup after I finished it.
Right. Yeah, it kept breaking. It kind of threw me off because it kept pulling me out of the story to focus on, okay, why is this scene 2? Why is this the lights? And it's like, I cannot. But yeah, eventually I was like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the book. For one, it was nice and short, so I had it on Audible. And I'm like moving around the house, cleaning, doing stuff. And the next thing you know, it was done. And I'm like, oh, it's over that fast. I don't like this. I'm productive. I finished a book. Okay, so not just because of the length of the book, but I really did like the way it was written because I like how it jumped back and forth between like what actually happened, his interpretation of what happened, and then present time with him in court. And that way I can kind of like get this like all around feeling of like how much he was like so hopeless, or he felt hopeless. And then how the attorneys were kind of like, yeah, you know, just like the other one, lock him up, boom. And I really like how it made me feel that way from jumping back and forth.
All right.
Yeah. I felt like it really kept me entertained from beginning to end. So for me, that you got to get me in the beginning so I can stay on to the end. And it was very short, but I felt like I was entertained the whole way through. I really and truly enjoyed this book. I mean, it really brought home just things, even from growing up, on how people, you know, are prejudged, I would say. And yeah, I think at the end I was a little confused on the ending in the book, just because I think I wanted a different ending, maybe. But I did love the book.
I agree. Like, it really demonstrated the prejudgment just because who you hang around or who you associate with or even who you say hi to doesn't automatically make you a criminal because they are. And you know, in a lot of Black communities, that's what you got. You got a mixture of people. I mean, probably in all communities. And so just because I'm saying hi and talking to you and I care for you as a person, even though you may be a drug dealer or whatever it is, you know, doesn't necessarily make me that. So I agree. It did show that. That was a great point. Before we move into the movie, I'm just going to apologize because this was my pick. And I'm apologizing because we went through so much frustrations where we read the book and then there was no movie to watch. And then we had to wait for the movie to be watched because it was just a nightmare with the transition from All Rise to Monster. I mean, I think we waited, like almost 3 or 4 months? Maybe longer than that. I feel like we may have read the book in September.
I was gonna say, like, if you could please back up to the point that we read it in November.
I was
October.
Like at least half a year ago, like
yeah,
November or something like that.
I forgot about this one.
It was
right. Well, because
winter.
What's crazy was when I picked it, the movie All Rise was on HBO. So I was like, oh, okay, good. And it's right on HBO. We can watch it. And then it disappeared. And I was like, well, what happened? How do you find it? And then there was that whole transition of it moving to Netflix when they acquired it. And, you know, like you mentioned earlier, Lynn. Anyway, so I'm apologizing because I was just like, I don't know. I guess we can't watch the movie. I have no idea what's happening.
And then finally it came out. And I was like, oh, yeah. Wait, do I remember the story? I guess I got to reread this.
I did.
Books have we read between like November and now. So
I know. I had to reread it also.
That caveman syndrome. Like once you cross the threshold, like your memory.
All right, so moving to the movie. What y'all think? Oh, I got a cough. I'm trying not to cough on the camera.
I know this is always at the end, but I did not look up any of the casting. So before when I turned it on, I was like, all right, I gotta watch this because like who knows, it might disappear again. So I'm like, all right, play. So hit play, and then when it opened with I'm drawing a blank on his name, but we met him at the Waves premiere.
You did.
I got all excited, and then Jennifer Hudson turned, and I missed like the whole like 5 minutes at the beginning because I was like, oh my god, this casting is awesome. So yeah, I do like the movie though.
But wait, who do we meet at the Waves premiere?
The young man who played in Waves as Sterling Brown's son.
I want to say his name is
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I never put that together.
Yeah, he's an amazing person, but also like an actor. So when I saw his face, I was like, oh, we got to like meet him and like get a personal opinion. It wasn't about a book that we reviewed for the podcast, of course, but still to like have him in a movie that we're reviewing for the podcast was pretty awesome. So I got all excited and distracted and completely didn't like, I missed the first like 5 minutes of the movie because I was all into it. And then he was all into his art side and he was showing that or telling us about at the Waves premiere how he really likes branching out of his norm and with different like characters and roles. And so I was really focused on how he was playing this kid basically in, you know, in New York, kind of like in the turmoil mix of like having like drugs and gangs, but also trying to keep himself separate with art and then having like, you know, his crush. So I was just looking at like him as an actor because we have met him personally before. So I got all excited.
Calvin Harris.
I was right. I said Calvin Harris something.
Yep.
I think it's like Calvin Harris Jr. is his name.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. I never connected that.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, but anyways, I love the movie. I, of course, love the casting, like I just said before. But just to be able to reread the book and have not be disappointed for once is so nice.
Yes, exactly.
As it was going through, I was just like, oh, it's so good to be disappointed.
Yeah.
I do think it followed the storyline in the book. I mean, I will say that I was disappointed with the ending in the movie because the movie made it seem like he did go into the store, but I reread the book and I didn't get that from the book. that he went that
Right.
they asked him that question to be on the lookout. But on the movie, they like showed the guy asking him that question, and I did not capture that in the book at all. I
Wait.
thought it was all mistaken identity. I'm sorry, what was that?
I think that like what I interpret it from is that he didn't like verbally say, "I need you to like go in there and scope it out," but the book, as he was kind of like, not that I know you, but like, bro, I know you, and you can do like have a full conversation, just not verbally, like head nods and body language, like you know what I'm asking you to do without having to ask you out loud. So that's how I was taking it from the book. Not that it was said, but like, look, you're from the same hood that I am, so you gotta look out for me, like I looked out for you when so and so was about to jump you. So that's how I took it. Was like it was like a non-verbal
Right.
type thing.
Okay. And
That's
that could be why I missed it because I was just like, wow, okay. Because in the movie, you're kind of like, did he or didn't he? Or
Exactly.
I don't know. Was he really reaching for the sun? I don't know.
Right. So to me, I love the movie, by the way, but to me, it did give a feel like technically he was in on it unwillingly, in so many words. I mean, it seemed like he did reach for the sun as if to give a signal. He had to do something because he may have not made it through. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a true and can hit so home, close to home type movie that I actually teared up at the end because I was thinking about my stepson and him. It's just so easy to become friends with somebody you don't necessarily vibe with or would normally become friends with. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so yeah, it really hit home.
Yeah. Because
I,
this
I, I, I
is
took it
right.
the same way. I mean, I kind of was like, Lord, if I was, could be charged with every person I was friends And
Yeah, Ray, you broke up a little bit, but what I wanted to kind of comment on, like what you just said that we got from what you said, was that I don't think that he was gullible. I think that he was smart enough to know that, like, look, I don't want to be involved in this world, but I don't really have that big of a choice because I know you from association and I know what you're capable of. And
Mhm.
I thank you for helping me, but like, I need to keep cool and cordial with you, but like at a far. So I think when he was replying to different sayings, he was saying things like in a strategic manner to make sure he didn't offend James King, but at the same time, like kept his distance. So when it came to that silent, like, look, dog, you got me type thing, it was kind of like, how do I get out of this without being a part of it, but without tarnishing this relationship that kind of keeps me protected and at the same time us cool. So I think it was more of like a thoughtful process. Like he was so artistic that he was like, I need to find my way around this safely.
The main thing I kept thinking of every time, I was like, why are you leaving the house? I'm gonna need you to stay in the house. You know he out there. You don't want to be friends with him. Try to go another block or go around the situation. But I understand it's hard to do. But stay in the house. That's what I kept screaming at the TV. Would you clear your butt in the house?
Hey, you on lockdown right now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the confusing ending, I feel like they really were able to capture the book in the movie. Just with the graphics in the movie and just the switching from the courtroom to his sort of thoughts and the flashbacks. I think the movie was awesome. I think they did a really good job.
I agree.
yeah, I think they did a good job with the movie too. I think him as the main character was too old, but
Yeah. Oh, you think he looked too old?
yeah,
Well,
I think
yeah,
he looked
let's
too old
talk
for the
about the
part.
cast. Because I'm just going to put it out there. I'm such a big John David Washington fan. Bobo, I love him as an actor. I just think and when he plays those type of roles, he nailed it. I don't know if you guys have seen him in anything else, but I fell in love with him with that sitcom, that football sitcom that he was on. I can't even remember the name of it, with The Rock. Um,
Ballers,
Ballers. That's
was
when
it
I fell in
Ballers?
love with him. Yes. And Ballers is when I fell in love with him, and he was just so over the top. That yeah, I just love that man. I love him as an
I
actor.
thought ASAP Rocky did a really good job. I wasn't
Me,
expecting that at all.
me either. I was like, oh, this gonna be
Yeah,
bad.
that's what I said. I was like, oh, they're gonna mess up the movie. ASAP, you just gonna mess up the whole movie.
Right.
Exactly.
Really good job. You did.
Brad did a good job.
I
He
was,
did do a good job, and of
I
course, we love Jennifer Hudson.
Of course.
pleasantly surprised though. But Jennifer Hudson, of course.
Jeffrey Wright, I love him too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Play any character, any ethnic, any background, no matter what it is.
Oh,
Apparently.
you're right. He can. He's
Yeah.
very versatile. I do like him. I mean, that Joker played Dr. King right with nothing. But I think the casting was perfect to me. I can't think of one character that I wasn't happy with.
Right. Me too. I agree.
Maybe except for the lead character seemed a little old, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he did a great job, but I just he just looked old, and I think we don't look as old as we are. So to me, I think that's what set it apart for me. We never look our age. That's just.
Yay.
All right, y'all.
Follow us, subscribe. Follow us, subscribe on
Great Watch Wine, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Webpage,
Like,
YouTube,
all the sites.
all of them.
Like that.